You are a good guy. You're thoughtful, you're considerate, you're always the one to help a friend move. You bend over backwards to avoid conflict and make sure everyone is comfortable. You are, by all definitions, a nice guy. So why do you feel like a ghost? Why do you get overlooked for promotions, ignored by the woman you desire, and treated like a doormat? You've done everything right, so why does it all feel so wrong? Hello, and welcome. There is a deeply ingrained belief in our culture, a piece of advice given to generations of men: just be nice. The idea is that niceness is a form of moral currency, that if you deposit enough kindness, agreeableness, and self-sacrifice into the world will pay you back with respect, love, and success. But many of us have discovered the painful truth: it doesn't work. This leads to a place of deep frustration and resentment, the home of the archetypal nice guy who feels cheated by life's unfair rules. Today, we are going to expose those rules as a complete fabrication. We're going to dissect the nice guy fallacy. This is the mistaken belief that a strategy of maximum agreeableness will lead to a fulfilling life. We will explore why this strategy not only fails, but can make you functionally invisible. By the end of this video, you won't just understand why you feel this way. You'll have a new framework for building a life based on genuine strength and self-respect.
The myth of the meritocracy. Agreeableness isn't a currency. The first pillar of the nice guy's worldview is the belief that life, and especially relationships, is a meritocracy of kindness. Let's call this the myth of the meritocracy. This is the core assumption that if you just collect enough nice points by being helpful, by giving compliments, by never disagreeing, you can eventually cash them in for a reward, whether that's a promotion, a friendship, or a romantic partner. You believe you are earning affection through your good deeds. But human connection doesn't work that way. Attraction and respect are not rewards for good behavior. I want you to imagine there's a woman you're interested in. You decide to deploy the nice strategy. You become her go-to guy. You help her with her assignments, you give her rides when her car is in the shop, you listen to her talk for hours about the guy she's actually interested in. In your mind, you are filling a jar with nice points. Each favor, each listening session is another coin in the jar. You believe that once the jar is full, she will turn to you and realize you were the right one all along. Then one day, she tells you with a big smile, "You are such a good friend. You're like a brother to me." The jar shatters. You didn't earn a partner, you earned a platonic label, because you were acting like a helpful friend, not a potential romantic partner. This fallacy ignores the fundamental nature of attraction and respect. These things are not logical transactions. They are emotional and chemical responses. They are responses to qualities like confidence, self-respect, humor, passion, and strength. While kindness is a wonderful trait, strategic niceness, kindness deployed with the expectation of a return, is read by the subconscious not as strength, but a lack of self-worth. It communicates, "I don't believe I am inherently valuable, so I must do things to prove my worth to you." A healthy, attractive man is also kind, but his kindness is a gift, not a payment. He helps a friend because he genuinely wants to help, not because he's trying to get something from her. His interactions are driven by genuine interest and confidence, not a secret ledger of good deeds. He might ask her out for a date directly, risking rejection, because his goal is to clarify her romantic interest, not to slowly earn it over months of favors. He signals his intent clearly because he respects both his time and hers. Let's be very clear, this is not an argument for being a jerk. Being a decent, kind, and considerate human being is the baseline for a good life. The fallacy isn't in the act of being kind. It's in the belief that kindness is a strategy to get something. Genuine, no-strings-attached kindness is a beautiful and admirable quality. The nice guy's problem is that his niceness is rarely genuine. It's a tool contaminated by unspoken expectations.
The long-term consequence of living by this myth is a life of perpetual frustration. You feel like you're following the rules of a game, but you keep losing, leaving you feeling bitter and resentful towards the very people you're trying to please. It creates a deep-seated belief that the world is unfair and that others are taking advantage of you.
The shadow of nice, unspoken contracts, and hidden resentment. This brings us to the dark, corrosive underbelly of the nice guy strategy. It's the part we rarely admit, even to ourselves. It is the shadow of nice. The shadow of nice is the toxic combination of unspoken contracts and the deep resentment that brews when those contracts are inevitably broken. The nice guy operates on a series of these hidden agreements. If I am always agreeable and easygoing, then you owe me a conflict-free relationship. If I sacrifice my needs for yours, then you owe me your gratitude and affection. The problem is, the other person never signed this contract. They don't even know it exists. Imagine you and your partner are deciding where to go for dinner. She suggests a sushi place. You hate sushi, but you don't want to be difficult, so you say, "Sure, sounds great." This is covert contract number 1. I agreed to do something I dislike, so you owe me appreciation for my sacrifice. Later, she's scrolling on her phone during dinner. This violates covert contract number 2. Since I sacrificed my preference for you, you owe me your undivided attention. You don't say anything. You just sit there, your silence getting heavier, a storm of resentment brewing inside you. She can feel the mood shift and asks, "What's wrong?" You reply with the classic, "Nothing, I'm fine." You are punishing her for breaking a rule she never knew existed. This is a form of passive aggression. Because the nice guy is terrified of direct conflict, he expresses his anger and disappointment indirectly, through sullen silence, guilt trips, and martyrdom. He sees himself as the victim, the martyr who gives and gets nothing in return. Psychologically, this allows him to avoid taking responsibility for his own needs. It's easier to feel resentful about not getting what you want than it is to risk the conflict of actually asking for it. The healthy alternative is direct, honest communication, which completely eliminates the need for covert contracts. In the dinner scenario, the healthy man would say, "You know, I'm not the biggest fan of sushi. How would you feel about that new Italian place instead?" He tables his preference openly and respectfully. This creates a negotiation between two equals, not a hidden sacrifice by a martyr. He replaces the potential for resentment with an opportunity for genuine compromise. Is it wrong to expect reciprocity in a relationship? Absolutely not. Healthy relationships are built on a give and take. The crucial difference is that in a healthy dynamic, these expectations are communicated openly and are flexible. The nice guy's contracts are rigid, unspoken, and unilateral. He doesn't just want reciprocity, he wants to prepay for a guaranteed outcome, which is a form of control, not partnership. Living in the shadow of nice makes you a ticking time bomb of resentment. This resentment poisons your relationships, making you passive-aggressive, moody, and untrustworthy. Your partner starts to feel like they're walking on eggshells around you, never knowing what might secretly upset you. It corrodes intimacy and destroys the very connection you were hoping your niceness would build. Think about the last time you felt that simmering resentment. What was the unspoken contract that you felt was violated? Acknowledging it is the first step. Share your thoughts below. The gravity of a no. Why boundaries create presence. This brings us to the solution. The antidote to the nice guy fallacy is not to become mean, it's to develop substance. And you do that by understanding the gravity of a no. This principle states that a person's character, strength, and very presence in the world are defined not by what they agree to, but by what they are willing to refuse. A person who says yes to everything has no shape. They are like a gas, accommodating and filling every container, but ultimately formless and without impact.
A person with boundaries, a person who can deliver a calm, respectful no, has a solid form. They have weight. They have gravity. Imagine a manager asks 2 employees to stay late on a Friday to finish a non-urgent task. Employee A, the pleaser. He has family plans. He feels exhausted, but the fear of disappointing his boss is overwhelming. He sighs and says, "Yeah, okay, no problem." He stays, feeling resentful and invisible. His yes had no weight because it wasn't a true choice. Employee B, the protector. He also has plans. He calmly says to the boss, "I understand this is important, and I'm happy to make it the first priority on Monday morning, but I have a prior commitment with my family tonight that I need to honor." He doesn't over-explain or make excuses. His no is respectful but firm. Which employee do you think the boss respects more in the long run? Employee B. His yes on other days now has more value because it is known to be a genuine choice, not a default setting. Boundaries are a signal of self-respect. Saying no to something you don't want to do is a declaration that your time, your energy, and your needs are valuable. When you project self-respect, others are far more likely to mirror it back to you. Psychologically, it also makes you less predictable. A person who might say no is more intriguing than a person who always says yes. They are seen as their own person, not just an extension of other people's desires. This creates an aura of independence and strength, which are cornerstones of attraction. The unhealthy state is the boundaryless pleaser. They are easy to deal with in the short term, but difficult to respect in the long term. The healthy alternative is the person with clear, flexible boundaries. They are not confrontational or rigid. They deliver their no with kindness but without apology. Their identity is not up for negotiation. The critical lens, nuance, and counterarguments. Does this mean you should say no to everything just to prove a point? Of course not. That would make you disagreeable and uncooperative. The art is in the discernment. It's about saying a wholehearted yes to the things that align with your values and goals, and a respectful no thank you to the things that don't. It's about making your yes a conscious, enthusiastic choice, which is only possible if no is also a readily available option. The long-term consequence of developing the gravity of a no is profound self-respect. You start to trust yourself. You feel more in control of your own life. This radiates outward. People stop seeing you as a resource to be used and start seeing you as a person to be respected. Your relationships become more honest, your career prospects improve, and you finally feel visible.
So let's put this all together. The nice guy strategy is a fallacy because it's built on the myth that agreeableness is a currency and on a toxic foundation of unspoken contracts and resentment. The path out is not to become a jerk, but to develop the strength of character that comes from having clear boundaries, to understand the gravity of a no. The deep why is that we are drawn to people who have a strong sense of self. A person who respects themselves gives us a baseline for how we should treat them. A person who is constantly bending to our will feels formless and untrustworthy, like a ship without a rudder. We want a partner who can be a rock, not a puddle. So, how do you begin this journey from invisible pleaser to respected individual? First, kill the covert contract. Start a real one. Your first step is to start speaking your needs and desires out loud. Instead of doing a favor and hoping for appreciation, state your need for appreciation. Say, "I'm happy to help you with this, and it would mean a lot to me if you acknowledged how much effort it took." Instead of silently fuming about dinner, state your preference. You are replacing unspoken expectations with clear, direct, and honest communication. Second, practice the respectful refusal. You need to build your no muscle. Start in low-stakes situations. When a waiter asks if you want dessert and you don't say, "Oh, I shouldn't." Say a clear, "No, thank you." If a friend asks for a favor you can't do, use this script. "I wish I could help, but I can't." That's it. No long excuses, no apologies for having your own life. Just a simple, respectful refusal. Third, define your own mission.
Nice guys often have no strong purpose outside of pleasing others. You must develop your own mission. What are you passionate about? What are your goals? A new hobby, a fitness goal, a career path. When you have your own compelling direction, you are less likely to be pulled off course by everyone else's agenda. Your no becomes easier because it's in service of a more important yes, your yes to your own life. You are not invisible, but your agreeableness might be. Your constant formless yes can make you blend into the background. The most powerful, visible, and attractive thing you can be is yourself. A person with clear values, honest desires, and the courage to say what you truly mean. Stop trying to be a nice guy. Just be a good man. A man who respects himself enough to be real. That is a man who can never be ignored. Thank you for watching. If this was a wake-up call, subscribe for more.